Welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Legends Masters Series. Last weekend of qualifiers. I'm still Justin Larson. This is still Charmer.
That's right, but I am Charmer, who has coffee in him now and will make far less mistakes going forward.
There's no way that that's possible.
That's not true at all. No, I'm still going to keep making mistakes.
So in our next match, we have Ksedden versus Karakondzhul. These are two names that I'm sure a lot of people in the community are familiar with.
Absolutely. Karakondzhul, no stranger to our top 8.
No.
We've been casting him for three weeks running
Has
now.
put up some really impressive results. And Karakondzhul, it looks like his warrior has been banned and Ksedden's House Halalu has been banned.
Yeah, this is a really interesting choice by Ksedden because most of the time when people have brought these 4 aggressive lineups, opponents have banned the Crusader. Crusader,
Right.
again, through the first 2 weeks was the most banned class, period.
Right.
We saw it even banned once today. I'm curious to see how this plays out, if that ends up being a mistake.
And Karakondzhul taking out the Halalu list is kind of interesting too. Leaving those 2 control decks up, maybe just doesn't want to play the aggro mirror, doesn't want to win on the margins, wants to go under what Ksedden is trying to do.
Yeah, I think specifically when you look at what Karakondzhul has brought, they're aggressive lists with a little bit more mid-range flair, right? They're not super aggressive, but they are,
I agree.
They're aggressive enough to beat the control decks, but they could be outraced by Halalu. Getting rid of the Halalu list means you don't have to worry about them high rolling, getting those turn 2 manners off the ring.
Absolutely.
I like this ban given Karakondzhul's lineup.
Just looking at the list, looking at the classes, who's your favorite to win this one?
I really like Karakondzhul's matchup against those control decks.
I agree.
Again, these are aggressive lists, but with mid-range quality bodies.
I agree. I totally agree. We've seen Karakondzhul perform really well before. I like these lists. I think there's some pretty interesting uses of cards here. Let's head into our very first game in our first top 4 match of the day. Ksedden versus Karakondzhul. We have Karakondzhul on House Veteran and Ksedden on Warrior.
Yeah, Ksedden has Doomcrag Warrior.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting list, a little bit different from previous Doomcrag Warrior lists that we've seen in these qualifiers. The core is still there though, right? You're still trying to churn through as much of your deck as possible. You're still trying to use Doomcrag to clear threats and play Journey to Sovngarde as your win condition.
Exactly. To be fair, I think every time we've seen this deck actually win, it's been to the opponent conceding. But that's my favorite kind of deck, man. That's what I play in this game.
Yeah. Karakondzhul here on this veteran list has a pretty decent opening hand. I like the mud crab here. I like maybe even one of the forerunners just because it does swing.
Definitely.
Has ward.
Now, do you trade your 5th Legion trainer and your veteran forerunner into the Undead Clan Sorcerer?
I don't think that I would give up that much board presence. That's a tough call there. I mean, the sorcerer is annoying.
I'm looking for an improvised weapon off of this mud crab. Who gives Ksedden an elusive schemer while taking the Black Sap Protector?
Wow. Karakondzhul agrees with your path. It's a lot of resources, but potentially worth it. I suppose in a deck like Doomcrag, leaving the sorcerer there is problematic.
Right.
A raiding party could spell a lot of trouble.
Absolutely. You don't want to start giving drain lives and shackling lanes and gargoyles and stuff to Ksedden.
Yeah.
We must protect our
Dushnik, great pickup here.
Absolutely. And this is not how Karakondzhul probably wants these early turns to be playing out. Black Sap Protector is, not an unreasonable play here. I kind of like Dragontail Savior, Veteran Forerunner. Trade in my crab.
Yeah, that mud crab was a bit of a rough one for Karakondzhul because the elusive schemer isn't exactly the kind of card you want to give to Doomcrag Warrior.
I think a lot of us anyway, who like Doomcrag decks have fantasized about playing strength, intelligence, endurance Doomcrag decks.
Right. That being said, you certainly didn't want to give them a guard either, so that was not a forgiving mud crab.
No. Ksedden picking up the Red Year goes along with the title, the Red Mountain.
So one thing that I want to point out, right, is all of the different ways that this Final Four can play out, right? Is we've been mentioning that the points matter.
Right.
Karakondzhul has enough points accumulated at this point that win or lose, going to earn a spot in Texas.
Because they made it to the top 4
Because
today and the previous points they've accumulated.
Yep. Trader Joe on the other side of the bracket is in a similar position. But if they place in the top 3, that opens the door for other people. Other people like Shinestorm. So Shinestorm's in a position where if they finish in 4th place, but the other people, because of the points they have, qualifying, could still steal a spot. I mention all of this because Ksedden here is the wild card. Ksedden needs to qualify in the top 3 to get in. He has the most on the line in this series. Karakondzhul, win or lose, is still going to be going to Texas. Ksedden is essentially playing for his life to get to QuakeCon.
Well, let's see how it works out for Ksedden. Dushnik archers so far in this match have been very impressive. Both times coming down and killing a creature and then requiring an answer on board.
Yeah, the Dushnik archers are better than advertised in a lot of ways. I think with so many aggressive decks floating around, that 1 damage, like ping, removal is more important than ever. Just having a guard body is a big deal. That Drain Life is a fantastic
we
pickup.
do see Undead Clan Sorcerer trigger. The payoff, I mean, that's a card that requires some work to make trigger. When it does, giving you a random blood magic spell, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good.
I think as an aggressive deck, getting the reach from Drain Life or getting something like Raise Dead are your 2 ideal pickups.
I agree. Ksedden taking a lot of stuff off the board. We still have not seen a rune broken. Crusader's Assault, kind of a great draw, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. On the Dragon Tail, your creature stays alive. You get to draw a couple cards.
Push some damage.
You'll still have 4 Magical left over to play whatever you draw.
Connect with the Mud Crab first, right? No? Okay. There we go. Windkeep Spell Sword for Karakondzhul. Dragon Tail Savior. Swinging for another 2, and then a couple of Windkeep Spell Swords. Ward creatures, one of the most effective ways to fight against the Doomcrag deck.
Yeah, I don't think that worrying about the prophecies, connecting with the Mudcrab first, like you said, was all that important. The only prophecies that are in this list are like Sharpshooter Scout. That wasn't going to have an impact one way or the other.
Yeah.
And
1 copy of Mummify, it looks like.
1 copy of Mummify. So ultimately,
now I'm a little surprised we didn't see Disciple of Namira come down. Just looks like Ksedden's thinking about just playing Stormcloak Battalion. And that's the play. Okay.
I think that's an entirely reasonable play. If it weren't for the Windkeep, I think we might have seen something like Barrowstalker Ald Velothi.
Yeah.
But Windkeep in that ward, keeping things at bay.
This is a big deal. I mean, you should. What do we have? What did Ksedden pick up there? Nothing particularly useful. Ashlander Zealot. No Doomcrags yet.
Yeah, Ksedden really could have benefited from a Doomcrag Warrior. Kind of drawn dead until they find one, and
that Drain Life in Karakondzhul's hand is huge.
Yeah, it's a lot of burst damage between that and the Sower, because that's the other thing.
That's
Ksedden
10 damage.
Hasn't located any silence yet.
Right. 2 Disciples of Namira. You really don't want your Journey to Sovngarde at this point in the game. The Red Year is not going to get played anytime soon. Ksedden was doing a really good job of doing the Doomcrag thing, making small little valuable trades in the early game, controlling the pace of the game, controlling the board, but the cards that he has drawn since then have not worked out well.
Yeah, and even in many ways they were kind of forced.
Yeah.
Ksedden was forced to make some poor, I'm not going to say poor plays because they were the right plays, but plays that feel bad earlier. So Halalu, Sharpshooter had to come down before Sower, right?
I mean, what are you even hoping to draw at this point if you're Ksedden? I mean, looking at this list, most of your outs aren't even in your deck.
Yeah, the biggest problem here is the presence of the Sower, right? You need silence.
Yeah.
You also need to get rid of the wards.
Yeah.
That's no easy task.
Definitely not.
This is not one of the Doomcrag lists that runs Grotwood Ambusher.
Nope. Namira Shrine isn't bad in a lot of circumstances, but this is not one of them. Part of the engine that makes the deck work, but Ksedden could die next turn. I mean, Karakondzhul is exact lethal.
Yeah.
Connect with that.
And that's going to be it.
This is going to be game.
Karakondzhul is going to take game 1.
I think it looked touch and go there. It looked like the Doomcrag deck was doing the Doomcrag thing and just taking the game to a point where you can't win anymore because there's too many answers. But Karakondzhul said, hey, we're gonna end the game as soon as possible after we get these small crappy creatures out of the way.
Yeah.
And made it happen.
Yeah, I really liked the way Karakondzhul piloted that. It was very methodical, right? I'm going to play enough threats to make you feel defensive.
I totally agree.
Make you kind of waste resources you don't want to use that early, like the Hlaalu Sharpshooter, and then play more, and then play more, and just kind of forced the game right down his throat in many ways.
Karakondzhul, one game closer to making it to our top 2 today. So let's see here. That means Warrior still on the table. I have to admit, I am a huge fan of the Doomcrag Warrior deck. I know I say this all the time. But I don't know if I bring Doomcrag Warrior up against House Hlaalu.
Or Crusader. If I'm being entirely honest, I don't like that Doomcrag matchup against either one of them.
I feel like House Hlaalu in particular, and to be fair, Crusader also at times draws more cards than the Warrior deck can effectively, deal with. One of the things the Warrior deck does to win is just, over time, amass way more resources. Crusader and House Hlaalu, the 2 aggro decks that draw the most cards.
Yeah, I am not happy with either of those matchups if I still have Doomcrag Warrior in my list.
I agree.
I personally like my Tribunal matchup. I think that might be something that I would consider breaking out.
I agree.
Get a win under my belt, confidence booster.
Ksedden's Tribunal list is similar to the other Tribunal lists we've seen so far in this tournament, although it is running Uprising, not Chanter. We see decks go one way or the other with that. Running 1 copy of Shrine Guardian, which is always interesting to see. That's the 8/8 for 8 that basically shuts down charge creatures.
Yeah, Shrine Guardian I think is a fantastic tech choice. More and more Tribunal decks are including 1 or 2 copies of them. Great at helping you close out a game against a deck like Hlaalu that might be trying to get those Cliff Racer lethals. I think you bring the Tribunal deck. That's what I would like to see.
I have to agree. And Karakondzhul still has that Dagoth list, which we've seen mixed results from over the course of the tournament. Dagoth list in general. Karakondzhul's Dagoth list, the closest we've seen to Dagoth aggro, though, and one I'm excited to see in play.
Yeah, it's a different take on
as
Dagoth.
A class, I guess the class has had mixed results.
Yeah, as a class, Dagoth has had mixed results. We've seen some control. We've seen like the more mid-range version.
We've seen Rage.
Yeah, this one is just more aggressive.
This is the most aggressive Dagoth list we've seen so far.
It's a really interesting list, and I kind of hope that we get to see that piloted.
I'd like to see that as well. Let's hop in and go to Game 2 of our first top 4 match. And we have Ksedden bringing back the Doomcrag Warrior, and we have Karakondzhul on his Dagoth aggro. And I think calling this deck Dagoth aggro is totally fair. There's 3 Nord Firebrands, 3 Crown Quartermasters, more Egg-Tongue Aspirants, Mudcrab Merchants, Steel Scimitars, the whole early game package.
Yeah, this is it's just a different kind of Dagoth list, right?
Yeah.
It could be labeled as mid-range for sure. I mean, you've got a lot of your more traditional mid-range cards, but it is also very aggressive.
I agree. All right, so leading on the Mournhold Trader, it's met by the Barrow Stalker. Do you shadow? Is you ever shadow shift here, or just develop more?
I think you just develop more.
I kind of like Withered Hand Cultist.
I like Withered Hand Cultist a lot.
Knowing that the Doomcrag deck is full of pings, I don't think you ever try to oppose the Barrow Stalker with a Corner Club Gambler.
Oh, absolutely not. No. You might consider something like Daggerfall Mage as well. I like that play.
It's going to get silenced.
It's going to get silenced because of
Ashlander
Ashlander Zealot, but I still like that play because, let's be honest, that Douchnik was not really helping your hand out.
No. I mean, there's an argument to be made that, like, I needed to be able to answer Necromancer's Amulets at some point.
Yeah,
but you
I
might
can see that.
You probably lost the game already at that point. Mudcrab Merchant, pretty good pickup. Now I think you can Shadow Shift guilt-free.
All right.
Not bad, not bad. Leaf Lurker, pretty interesting pickup. One of the slowest cards in Karakondzhul's deck. Gives Ksedden the Nimira Shrine.
Alright, and here is that Withered Hand Cultist. Big fan of that. Next turn you've got Leaf Lurker if you absolutely need it, but let's be honest, Leaf Lurker against Doomcrag is kind of a feels bad play. There's not a lot of like high health creatures. Double Barrow Stalker helping slow down that field lane. I think you go hunting with Mudcrab here and see what you find.
Healing Hands.
Healing Hands would be huge.
Yeah. It would cost more. I mean, it would cost Magicka, unfortunately, but. What do you, I mean, God, the Doomcrag deck's an interesting one too, because there's so many things that you ordinarily wouldn't mind giving an opponent.
Oh, that was...
Swims at Night could be dangerous.
That was not fun. Swims at Night is certainly not something you want to give away, but I can understand Karakondzhul kind of defensively taking that Knight of the Hour.
Yeah.
You don't want to hand that to your opponent either in this scenario.
So at Karakondzhul's top end, we see Triumphant Jarl, Markarth Bannerman, Divine Fervor. Oh wait, this is a different list. Those are not cards in this deck. We see Ancano, Triumphant Jarl, and Tel'Vos Magister, alongside Hand of Dagoth. At turn 5, I want to start landing Hands of Dagoth. Ward is, like I said before, so challenging for the Doomcrag deck to deal with.
Yeah, Karakondzhul's got to be, in many ways, almost a little upset that they found that Leaf Lurker. It is the only one in the deck.
Yeah.
And it's such a dead card in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree. That is a little painful. Interestingly enough, premium Leaf Lurker, but not alternate art.
Hey, sometimes you just want to go with the original.
Nah, man, bring on the new hotness.
Bandwagoner.
Yeah. All right, so you take out the Mortal Trader every time here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe see some sort of like alternative argument for getting rid of the Withered Hand Cultist if you're afraid of future things it might do.
Wow, Lesser Ward is kind of a big deal.
Well, now you can take out Withered Hand Cultist and not even feel bad about it.
Wow. That was the perfect hit.
Funny enough, though, because of the cost increase, Swims at Night did not get bigger.
That is interesting. I think... I mean, if you're Ksedden, are you hovering over the card right now to understand what just happened?
No, Ksedden's a veteran. I think he knows exactly what happened here. Unfortunately for Ksedden, though, Karakondzhul, with the Cliff Racer, great proactive plays, takes back control of that field lane. Ksedden has Doomcrags this time, though. So,
I'm like such a clunky hand though for Ksedden. I mean, I would say almost non-functional.
Yeah, what Ksedden really wanted to top deck there was a raiding party.
Yeah.
A raiding party to put Firebrands into your hand and then allow you to drop a Douchnik with the ring and then set up.
Wow, 6th House Amulet is going to be amazing here.
Wow, that is a huge top deck.
I mean, you have 11 on board, right? Now you have 13. I'm counting wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you get a tome back.
Yep.
Right?
And you drop an Awakened Dreamer that's going to start growing. Sharpshooter Scout, not going to do anything. Probably pinging the... No, not even seeing play. Going to combo with Doomcrag next turn. Okay, swing. Awakened Dreamer starts the growth process.
Yeah, that was a fantastic turn.
Necromancer's Amulet's way too late. Way too late. You need that in the early game when you're trading off your crappy little creatures.
I mean, it could start to generate some value in a later turn if they find the raiding parties. But this, I mean, you got to think this is going to be Doomcrag, Sharpshooter, but it looks like...
This isn't unreasonable.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like instead we're going to see just 2 guards.
Yeah.
And
That's a good play.
Yeah, I am not against that.
No, it does put him in a position where Necromancer's Amulet could be good.
Again, though, because of the tools at Karakondzhul's disposal, can navigate this without losing any creatures.
Yeah. Even develop Ash Berserker. Ash Berserker Tome, probably.
This is very similar to last game in the way that Karakondzhul is just navigating this kind of methodical, you know, I take the value trades, I make you deal with what's on the board, I make you overcommit resources, and then when you finally get close to clearing, you know, I still have a handful of cards.
Does Karakondzhul's play strike you as a guy who knows how to play Doomcrag himself?
I mean, Karakondzhul strikes me as the kind of guy who knows how to play just about every deck in the game.
Yeah.
I would be shocked to find a deck that he can't pilot.
That's fair. Goes face for 6. It's an Ande.
Yeah.
Plays the Ash Berserker.
That Amulet has the potential to be another great pickup.
And that growth on the Awakened Dreamer is going to make it that much more difficult for Ksedden to take out.
Yeah, so that Amulet is really important because the Daggerfall Mage at 5 can still skip that last rune.
Doomcrag, not enough.
Yeah, I don't see really. I mean, the raiding party is helpful, but it's too little, too late.
Yeah.
You kind of needed to draw it and gas up your hand before that Doomcrag was coming down.
I mean, maybe you survive barely if you already have an amulet in play and you're at 9 magic of this turn.
It would appear that dinner is
Doomcrag coming down. Swing. Sharpshooter Scout on the 6/4. You're hoping for, again, if you're Ksedden, you're just hoping for cards
I mean,
that aren't in your
not.
deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing that saves you, unfortunately.
No, 6-house amulet for uninterruptible lethal. Or clan captain. There we go, and Karakondzhul very quickly up 2-0 in this series against Ksedden.
Yeah, and we kind of forecast this, right? We said we liked these lists against Doomcrag. I think that Doomcrag is going to struggle against these. They're aggressive lists, but they're a little more mid-range. As you saw, it's not just blindly going face here. You're making value trades, letting your creatures still sit on the board.
Yeah.
If you don't find your Doomcrag combos early,
I agree.
You're going to struggle.
You're going to have a bad time.
Very well navigated by Karakondzhul.
I have to agree. We've seen these games played very, very well from Karakondzhul, and now he's just 1 win away from potentially making it to our top 2.
Yeah.
That's huge. This has been really quick, these last 2 games.
Karakondzhul, you know, we've seen him in the top 8 before.
We have.
I think, you know, even though spot going to QuakeCon already locked in,
yeah,
I think he wants to win.
I agree. I can feel that from him. We see the, you know, we get the interviews with him every week. This is a guy who's hungry to win.
Yeah, I mean, you play in tournaments to win, right? You play to win the game.
I mean, honestly, I don't.
Well,
I bring singleton decks.
All right, most people play to win the game.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really interesting. Karakondzhul only has to win with his House Halalu deck, has 3 chances to do it. Ksedden can still pull off the reverse sweep, definitely possible. Has House Telvanni, Tribunal Temple, and Warrior all available to defeat this House Halalu deck.
Yeah, so it is also worth noting, you know, earlier we had mentioned, hey, why didn't you ban Crusader?
Right.
As we saw, that was a Dagoth list that he just played, so that's why this graphic has been updated.
Yes.
So no Crusader deck left. Also explains why the ban was Warrior instead.
Yes, that makes a lot more sense.
That being said, it's all in the past. You still have House Halalu to deal with.
Yes.
Do you just bring Doomcrag again and say, you know, eventually I got to win with it anyway?
I mean, Doomcrag's matchup against Halalu is probably better than it was against the other 2 decks. It's tough to say.
I mean,
it's tough to say.
As far as aggressive decks go, I think Doomcrag has a better chance at Halalu.
Doomcrag can beat Halalu.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've done it. I've seen it done. I know it's possible.
Yeah, you've got answers for the supports.
Yeah.
You've got, I think, a lot better chance at killing the creatures because you don't have to worry about ward and you don't have to worry about high health.
Absolutely. The wards are huge against that deck.
Yeah, you can get more 1-for-1 trades against Halalu. So if you're going to beat an aggressive deck with Doomcrag, I think this is the one to beat. That being said, you still have to do it, right? You have to draw your Doomcrag combo a little bit sooner than what we've seen.
Ksedden's definitely not out of it. All of these lists are capable of winning this match. He just needs to win it every time.
All right, so Ksedden has brought in Tribunal. Now, this is the deck we thought we might see last time around.
Yes.
Happy to see him break this out.
This is an Uprising Tribunal list. This is the deck we first saw in our top 8 last weekend.
Yeah, last week was the first time it showed up in the top 8. Turquoise Link had a version.
Made it to the top 3.
Yeah, I think it's a very powerful deck.
Here we go. Now, Ksedden's hand is interesting. Barrowstalker, Doppelganger, Dawn's Wrath, Ice Storm. Karakondzhul firing on all cylinders, choosing to lead with the additional damage over the card advantage of Goblin Skulk.
Yeah, I like this opening because...
Certainly great against that Barrowstalker.
Mornhole Trader as a 4/4 is a lot harder to deal with early on.
Yeah.
And with the Steel Scimitar in hand, you can Skulk and then maybe Scimitar it right away.
Look at this play. I mean, you can drop everything but the Black Dragon this turn if you're Karakondzhul.
Yeah, if you want to take that path, I think that option's available. I like this more like methodical, reserved approach personally.
You like the method, the method.
Yeah, I think that there
You're
is
a method man.
I think that there is a method to this madness of not just slapping the Firebrand down, Scimitar trading in or whatever. I like this particular because you get damage now, right? You need damage now. You need to go face.
Right. You have a structured setup.
Oh wow, what a good pickup!
Yeah,
Haunted
that's
Manor.
Huge. Develop the Haunted Manor. You have at least one Nord Firebrand now.
Yeah, I mean this is a massive turn. Opts instead for the Black Dragon, and you know what?
I can't blame him. I mean, this is a
him.
ton of damage on the board. This is 9, 10, 11, 14 damage.
Yeah.
And Ksedden has Mage's Guild Recruit.
Yeah, Haunted Manor could have set up a charging Nord Firebrand, but...
Oh my god, a second Haunted Manor.
Things are not looking good for Ksedden right now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, a second Firebrand.
This is huge. Just drop a Haunted Manor. Save both Firebrands. Swing face with a 5/5 Firebrand. That's 6 bursts from hand. Ksedden needs to kill everything next turn.
Ksedden is
with
still
no
a
ring,
turn
can't
away
play
from
Ice Storm.
Ice Storm. I agree with you. I think that you just pass.
Just pass all day.
Force him to deal with what's there, and that's exactly what Karakondzhul does. He smells blood in the water.
Okay, what do you have to do here? You have to Firebolt. There's no way to live.
Karakondzhul...
there's no way to survive.
Let me point this out real quick, right?
Prophecy.
Karakondzhul got to the Final Four today by 3-0 sweeping Inez, a multiple #1 legend finisher, one of the best players in the game.
I agree.
And he is moments away from 3-0 sweeping Ksedden, one of the better players in the game as well.
Might be the player to beat today.
He is on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Night to remember. Okay.
That feels interesting to me. I mean, you're clearly trying to bring the cost down.
This. Oh my god.
Oh. Well.
Here we go. This is uninterrupted.
Yeah.
Swing for 3. Swing for 2.
This is it. The
wow.
The Haunted Manor's coming down, and
Karakondzhul.
It's time to fight.
It is time to fight
in the finals.
And the fight's over for this round because Karakondzhul is moving on to our final 2.
Wow, that was impressive.
That was incredibly impressive. I don't think we've had a single round this short.
Not only that, just one that felt so dominating.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Ksedden ever had any breathing room whatsoever.
No. I mean, Karakondzhul put on an excellent showing. We haven't seen, I think, a performance that dominant since Endozoa a couple weeks ago in a couple of his rounds.
And he's 6-0 today.
Yeah. This is an incredible performance so far. That is the first person who is definitely in our final 2.
Yeah, well-deserved.
Definitely going to QuakeCon.
Yeah, for the people who are, again, relying on points to potentially get in, they're breathing a sigh of relief.
Chain smoking intensifies, though, as his next round.
Yeah, they're going to be watching with some serious intent as Trader Joe takes on Shinestorm in our next series. Trader Joe, again, likely already in on points, but... if he qualifies, open some things up. Meanwhile, Shinestorm, bring in the robots. It's going to be a fun one to cast.
And then whoever loses that match will play against Ksedden for that third spot, that third guaranteed spot going to QuakeCon. There's a lot on the line for all the players left in this tournament so far today. I am having a great time. I mean, look, this entire series up to this point has been epic, and it has never once disappointed.
It's so interesting how things can change from series to series too, right? Like we've got down to the wire, Game 5, charge lethals going on, and then we have just dominance like Karakondzhul showcased. So
absolutely. Well, we'll be right back to find out who our last member of the top 2 is going to be. We'll see you there.